Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of a crypto DeFi portfolio update. I did a number, I don't know, like maybe 2 months ago or something, a little bit of a video explaining what it was that I was purchasing. I gave some introduction to DeFi, explained how that whole space works and why it's exciting. And so it's been a while. The market has changed quite a bit. And so I figured I would update you with my thoughts on where we're at the moment. At the moment that I am filming this, I think it's the 21st or something of February, 20th, 21st, I don't know, something like that. And so yeah, we'll have the context, and I'll tell you some of the things that I'm investing in, and you can feel free to do what it is that you want. I think this is really good to know for anyone. First of all, because it's kind of a wave of the future, right? So it's good to know like what's going on, but also it's a great opportunity right now, just because when things are in kind of that upward trend, you don't have to be that smart in order to get pretty great returns. I was talking to a friend this morning, and I was complaining about 35% returns in a month or something, and we just started laughing, talking about like how ridiculous this is, right? It's like, 35% in a month, it's terrible. So anyway, yeah, I'll update you on how kind of things have panned out, and we will go from there. All right, before we do that though, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Really helps us out. Really appreciate if you can help us grow the channel. Share it with the video with your friends. Like it if you like it. If you don't, leave some comments below telling me why not, telling me how to improve. I really appreciate that as well. And if you're interested at all in the subjects that we cover here, which is we help you to figure out how to build the best international structure, either for living or for doing business, pay the lowest legal amount of tax possible, where's the right place to live, which citizenships, which residency programs, how to build asset protection, and then actually helping you implement that. So getting the residency permits, getting the citizenships, forming the companies, opening the bank accounts, getting the payment processing, hiring people, investing, etc. Please reach out to me. You can book a call, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer. There's a link in the description below, or you can check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com, and you can send me a message through there. Okay, so let's go into it. So back in the end of November, I did a video talking about what I had bought at the time, which I had invested basically in 3 different areas of kind of the decentralized finance space of crypto. These were lending, right? Particularly, I had invested in Aave. Then there was oracles, so I had invested in Band and DOS. Then there was DEXs, which I had invested in Uniswap and Synthetic. Okay, and so how did those do? Those did really well. It was about 6x in Aave, Synthetic, and Uniswap. I just actually sold the Uniswap today. And then the Band is up about 3x from when we started, a little bit more. And the DOS was up like 50%, not so exciting. So that's kind of the spectrum of how things turned out. Now, that being said, like I said, the space has changed a little bit. Things are a lot more expensive. It's insane. If you go to CoinGecko, you can go down the list, and I think you have to go 72 tokens down or something to get out of $1 billion market caps. There's a bunch of projects now that are well over 30 billion in market cap, which is crazy. Tesla has announced that they bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. And the total market cap is, I think, somewhere around, 1.5 trillion or something like that for the crypto space. So it's gone up a lot. And so, as things go up, it's different. At the same time, in the DeFi space, one of the big things that's changed is that the burden on the network has increased the Ethereum gas fees. This is the fee you pay for a transaction. So they're quite expensive, and it's kind of unwieldy, and it's kind of stalled out that space. So what that led to was it led to people moving over to, in particular, Binance Smart Chain, which was Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange. They created their own decentralized exchange, sort of decentralized, decentralized, called Binance Smart Chain, where there was very, very low fees and the transaction speeds were fast. And that saw a lot of the people who were doing yield farming and things like this move over there. Huobi, or however you pronounce it, the big Chinese exchange, like I think the number 2 by volume, also launched their own, which is called Huobi EcoChain. And so they've got that. There's something called XDAI is another alternative. And now we're seeing Polka Dot and some other things kind of coming online, okay? So what's happened in the last little bit, I invested a bunch into the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem. It went very well, but the problem is there's just no real projects there. What I mean by that, there's just not a lot of projects, period. So if you go and you can go to some place called PancakeSwap and you can try and see what you can swap, there's just not a lot. And the problem is most of the ones that are there are not really real projects. They're all kind of like, it's like a tulip bubble, you know, so you can make money off that. I've done fairly well off putting some money in there. But I sold basically all those positions yesterday, something like that. And, you know, we'll see. It ran up insanely fast. It was a crazy, crazy Binance coin went up 600% in 30 days. We're talking like a decabillion-dollar project that ran up that much, which is just nuts, right? So it's since pulled back somewhat. I expect that it will be more mild over the next little while, but we'll see, okay? So that gives some sense of where the space is right now. And so my analysis of where this is I think we're going to continue to have problems in the Ethereum ecosystem with these high gas fees, okay? At the same time, I think that the lack of real projects on Binance Smart Chain, now what's called HECO, the Huobi Eco Chain area, it's very hard to get good data. It's not there yet, right? So that's also not really a great option. Again, you know, you can put some money on there. I did fairly well on MDEX and Huobi token, but still like tougher to deal with. So in my opinion, what's happening, what we're going to see here is there's two areas that are coming up, okay? The first is the Polka Dot ecosystem. And the reason for this is there's really cool, super interesting projects being built on Polka Dot, and they're just now starting to come online. And Polka Dot kind of solves the problems that Ethereum has with these high gas fees and slow transaction fees, okay? Very cool project. So Polka Dot's run up a lot. Kusama, which is like a lower version of Polka Dot, is worth looking at. It's kind of a junior Polka Dot. So there's that. We've seen what are called layer 2 solutions really pump quite a bit. And I think that we're going to see a lot in that ecosystem that's going to go up. So I'm researching and looking a lot at pretty much any project that's on Polka Dot to see if I can find some sort of interesting opportunities there, okay? Fair enough. The other thing that's probably a little, we've already seen it pump, so is the Nft space, okay? So the leading projects are Engine, Mana, and then farther down is Sand. I've done very well on Sand. That was kind of the first one that I bought into, and it's gone crazily well. I wasn't smart enough to put enough money into it, but anyway, it's good return on what it is. It's really hard for me to figure out what these projects are worth. I don't really know what to compare it to, and so I'm a little bit leery about the high cap projects, but on the low end, there's projects like Rari, Rarible. So Rari is the name of the token ticker symbol or whatever. TVK is another one, and Scene is another one. So those three are lower cap tokens. Okay, something to be aware of there. I invested in something called Fire Protocol, which is using Huobi EcoChain to kind of provide a lot of the stuff that's needed. Now, it's a far from certain project. It's kind of like a moonshot project in that if they execute, it'll be amazing. If they don't execute, well, whatever. But when I bought in, the market cap was 2 million, sorry, so super low. It's now like 3 times that or something, around 6 million. So, you know, if a person can get in, I think that it's easy in this market and this environment. I think it's very easy for those things to run up to 40 million. So there's quite a bit of upside in those types of projects. Some other projects that I find pretty interesting, there's something called, Injective. Injective is kind of like the little brother of Synthetic. Very cool project. They are working with Huobi as well to do this kind of layer 2 solution to speed things up for transactions, and they're doing like just really cool stuff at Injective. So I think that it's worth allocating some capital there. It could pay off fairly well. By the way, like none of these are guaranteed to pay off, right? All of it, this is like a risky or a highly volatile space, let's call it that. But while things are going up, I mean, things can just go up insane. I looked at one earlier today and I was interested in buying it, and I came back and it was up like 89%. And I came back later and it was up 119%. And so I didn't buy in. But you know, it kind of shows just how ridiculous things are in that area, and how you just don't have to be that smart in order to do pretty well. So I think it's quite interesting to get into. So some specific projects, I guess, that I have I brought into. I bought into one called Bounce. So Bounce is BOT on Binance. It's a Polka Dot project that I think is quite interesting. The ticker symbol Ring is another one. This one you have to buy through, I think I bought it through Huobi. Very interesting project as well. I think has a lot of upside potential. It's again a Polka Dot project, so that's pretty interesting. And you know, those are kind of like that's kind of like my general framework at this point in time. So my thought on where we're at in the cycle is, I think that if it was only alts, we probably would be at the top of the market. This, like, the types of investor behavior I've seen is very irrational and euphoric, so it would kind of signal the end. But I think what's different at this point in time is Bitcoin continues to have a different set of investors in it, and there continues to be upward momentum. I think that Bitcoin from here, it's getting close to 60,000. I think it will go well past 60,000, probably close to 100,000, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, but somewhere in that range before it kind of finishes this run. And what happens is that as Bitcoin goes up, it produces a lot of money for other people, which kind of spills out. People start looking for smaller projects they can invest in to get some upside. So I think that's going to give the space some new energy to keep going really longer than it should in this environment. So we'll see. I think that, you know, you have a few months at least left. It could be much longer, and it's possible it's shorter, but that's kind of the perspective that I'm taking. A bunch of the projects that I'm taking positions in, I'm kind of saying, okay, I'm looking to see how they execute through March and April, and then I'll make decisions on them after that. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'd love to hear what you guys are investing in, what you're buying, what you think is good, and yeah, tell me. And yeah, always happy to get some ideas and share. I think it's very useful to have some other people who are going to give you some different perspectives, stress test your thinking. Oh, I guess two things. I sold all my Bitcoin in the middle of January, and I sold all of my Ethereum maybe like the start of February or something like that. So I exited both of those things. I just didn't feel that the upside was as good as some of these other things. So instead, I'm holding Cardano, I'm holding Polka Dot, and you know, a bunch of these other alts. So anyway, hope that's helped. Video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, all those different things. Share the video with your friends, and yeah, I'm going to see you guys on the next video.